Assalamu alaikum students. Today in this lecture is basically prepare for grade 8 Cambridge. So grade 8 Cambridge. Assalamu alaikum, and I hope that you have heard and you have completed the assignment of the 1.01. Okay, and I hope that you have actually enjoyed the 1.01 because that was the introductory class. So I just had to introduce to the world of the physics that what the physics is. Okay, so we talked about everything in very general terms in that particular lecture, in the first lecture. Now we are going to start from the measurement and the unit, and we are going to start 1.02. Okay, so just be prepared and bring a copy so that you can write down the main points which we are going to discuss. Okay students, basically as you know that the SI unit basically are the universal accepted units and which we can use anywhere in the world. Okay, so the SI unit basically would be same everywhere in the world. For example, the mass unit is the kilogram, the unit of the time is second, and the unit of the length is meter. The kilogram basically is represented as kg, and the time is represented, the second basically is represented as a small s, and the meter is represented as small m. Okay, so what we are going to do, basically we are now going to start the mass conversions. Okay, that how to convert mass. Okay, for example, uh, if you have to convert the ton, if some mass is given to you and it's in ton, so and if you have to convert into the kilogram, so what you gonna do for that purpose? For the approximate result, you will multiply the mass whatsoever is given by the examiner. You will multiply the mass value by 907. For example, I given you 2 tons. Okay, for example, I have given you 2 tons, and I tell you to convert, and I ask you to convert the 2 tons into the kilogram. So what you gonna do, you will do that, you're gonna multiply the mass which is 2 ton and by 907. Okay, and the answer you would get would be the answer which will be represented in kg. Okay, it means that you have converted the term from you have converted the mass from tons to kg. So basically these are called the mass conversions. Now let's talk about the kg or kilogram to ton. So for an approximate result, you're gonna divide the mass by 907. For example, if I give you 2 kgs and I ask you to convert it into tons, so what you gonna do, you will just divide the 2 kg by the value which is 907, and then you will get your required result, and the answer will be in tons. Okay, then moving toward the next mass conversion, which is the gram to kilogram. So whenever you are going to convert any mass from gram to kilogram, so you're gonna divide the mass value by 1000, and when we are going from kilogram to gram, you're gonna multiply the mass by 1000. Okay, so basically this divide and multiply you have to remember in your mind so that you can easily or very quickly figure out or calculate the mass, or you convert the mass from one conversion to another conversion. Now moving toward the next one, for example, we have milligram to gram. So whenever we are just converting the mass from milligram to gram, so we divide the mass value by 1000. Okay, for example, I ask you to convert 2 milligram into gram, so you're gonna just divide it by 1000, and then whatsoever the answer is, it would be represented in grams. And the last conversion, or the mass conversion, is the gram to milligram. So for the conversion of the mass from gram to milligram, you just gonna multiply the mass value by 1000. Okay, so you have to remember where to divide or where to multiply, and then you can easily ace such questions of the conversion. So basically these were the mass conversions, and as these were the mass conversions, so we were dealing with the units of mass. For example, we were dealing with ton, we were dealing with kgs, we were dealing with tons, we were dealing with kilogram, gram, milligram, and then gram. Okay, so basically these are the mass conversions which we have to learn, you have to memorize in order to execute your questions smoothly. Okay, students, so now we are going to talk about time, because as we have talked about mass, now it's time to talk about time. So basically the time can be measured in millisecond, in microsecond, and in nanoseconds. Okay, so basically the millisecond basically is a thousandth of a second. A microsecond basically is also the SI unit of time, which is equal to 1 millionth time of a second, and the nanosecond basically is the SI unit of time, which is equal to the 1 billion time of a second. Okay, so we can also express this in exponential terms. Millisecond is represented as exponent minus 3. A microsecond is represented as exponent minus 6. Basically just 10, and when 10 has some power like minus 6 minus 3, that's called exponent. Okay, so a microsecond is represented as exponent minus 6, and a nanosecond basically is represented as exponent minus 9. So you have to remember that when we are talking about nano, so it resembles with 9, so nanosecond means minus 9, so it is the exponent minus 9 seconds. Okay, students, now let's talk about length. Okay, so as you know that length as a unit as meters, so here we have some length units which we are going to discuss. Okay, so for example, we have kilometer to meter. So when something or some length is given in kilometer and you have to convert it into meter, so you will multiply the length value by 1000. When you would have to convert the meters length, the length which is given in meters, into kilometer, then you will divide the length value by 1000. The third one is that when the length is given to you in centimeters and you have to convert into meters, then you gonna divide the length value by 100. And when the meter length and meter is given to you and you have to convert it into centimeters, so you gonna multiply the length by 100. Then in fifth point, when the length is in millimeters and you have to convert it into meter, then you gonna divide it by the length value by 1000. And the sixth point, according to the sixth point, when the length is given to you in meter and you have to convert it in millimeter, then you gonna multiply the length value by 1000. So now the seventh point is that if the length is given in micrometer and you have to convert it into meter, then you gonna divide the length value by exponent 6 plus 6. And if the length is given to you in meter and you have to convert it into micrometer, then you gonna multiply the length value by exponent 6. Okay, then the second last is nanometer to meter. When the length is given to you in nanometer and you have to convert it into meters, and for the approximate result you're gonna divide the length value by exponent minus 9, exponent 9 plus 9. And when the length is given to you in meter and you have to convert into nanometer, then you gonna multiply the value, the length value, by 1 exponent 9 plus 9. Okay, students, basically there are some practice questions which are given on page number 13 of the fundamental book of chemistry. So you just have to go through, after watching this lecture, just go through the whole chapter, the whole unit, and go through this unit very thoroughly and try to attempt these questions. If you have any query, then you can email us and we will try to answer your query as soon as possible. Thank you so very much.